Everybody loves a good whodunit, and that's exactly what we have here. Lucian Seamark is both investigator and victim in this story. But is he really the victim, or is he something else? There's always more to be told. Introduction. Where do I begin? I have absolutely no idea. You see, I woke up in this very bed about a month ago, having no clue where I was or how I got here. Worst of all, as if that weren't enough, my mind was a complete blank. That's right, folks. I am completely clueless as to who I am, other than a piece of paper that says my name is Lucian Seamark, and good luck. I couldn't tell you a single thing about myself. Sitting alongside said note was a stack of bills, 10 grand to be exact, and although that could last me a while, I'll still have to come up with a way to make a living. But how can you build a life when you don't know who you are, what you're capable of? Also, there are a couple of other more significant questions that are pressing on my empty mind. Who did this to me, and why? Chapter 1. It has been 5 weeks since I woke in a hotel room with absolutely no idea of who I am. 4 weeks ago, while trying to find answers, I was told by a doctor that there's no way I'm human. Had it not been for a strength I did not know I possessed, I would probably be strapped to a table, being poked and prodded at this very moment. I assumed that the sudden burst of strength I experienced was due to an adrenaline rush. That is, until 3 weeks ago, when I went to see a woman in Chalmette, Louisiana. Madame Vistois is a psychic here, and whatever she saw scared her badly enough to not only throw me out of her shop, but also to refuse any further contact with me. Despite this, I persisted in trying to get her to talk to me. After the 3rd ring, her phone sends me to voicemail. Hi, Madame Vistois. It's Lucian Seamark, again. Listen, I know that whatever you saw really freaked you out, but please. I'm so desperate for answers I can't even hide the pleading in my voice. Please, I need to know what you saw. I need to find out who I am. I disconnected the call and tossed the phone onto the bed. Looking out the window, I noticed the sky suddenly as dark as my mood. When I let out a groan of frustration, a bolt of lightning streaks across the sky, immediately followed by a thunderous boom. Looks as though we're on the same page, Mother Nature. I flop down in the chair that sits in front of the window and looks out onto the street. My experience at the clinic and my visit with Madame Vistois keep replaying in my mind, and again, I ask myself, how can I not be human? And what exactly did he mean by that? Obviously, I'm not some animal that crawls around on all fours, but what else could there be? I mean, come on. It's not like there are many more options. I jump in my seat from surprise when my phone rings, and I knock the chair over, stumbling out of it to answer the call. There is, after all, only one person who has this number. Hello? The other end is silent for several seconds before she speaks. I am going against my better judgment, and I'm going to agree to meet with you. She lets out a heavy sigh. But I'm going to need a couple of days to prepare and protect myself. I will contact you in a couple of days. Madame Vistois hangs up the phone, ending the call before I can get a single word in. Finally, maybe now I can start getting some answers. Chapter 2. I hear my phone ringing as I step out of the shower and almost slip on the wet tile, trying to get to it in time. My towel barely hanging onto my hips, I dive the few feet in between myself and the bed, bouncing on the mattress when I land. Hello? When she finally speaks, her voice is so hushed I can barely hear her. Meet me at the park around the corner from your hotel. I cannot do this in the confines of your room. I need the positive energy of nature to do this. I'll be there in 30 minutes. For the second time, she disconnected the call without allowing me to speak a single word. And I would be lying if I said I wasn't starting to feel a little sketchy about all of this. She could be some kind of a quack like the guy back at that clinic. While I'm throwing some clothes on, it occurs to me that she has to be on the up and up. She knew my name without me telling her. She knows what hotel I'm staying at, and again, without me saying a word. But still, when I arrive at the park, it takes me a few minutes to spot her sitting on a bench. She's made sure to pick a spot where there aren't a lot of people hanging out. I take a deep breath and let it out on a sigh before taking that first step toward her. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this, Madame Vistois. I hold my hand out to her, but she shies away from it. Please, I cannot stand the pain of the headaches when I touch you. Recalling the pain she seemed to be experiencing from our first encounter, I accept her excuse and take a seat on the bench opposite where she sits. Looking at her now, she almost looks as if she has aged since I saw her last. As if on cue, we both lean forward and rest our elbows on our knees. I'm going to keep this very brief, as I don't need the trouble this could bring me. She closes her eyes and takes a few cleansing breaths. When she looks at me again, I would swear her eyes are glowing. There is something very dark around you, Lucian Seamark, and it is strong enough that it has completely wiped your mind clean. Her brow furrows, and I can't help but feel bad. I'm now starting to believe that this discomfort she's feeling is because of me. Yet she continues. You need to go to Marana, Arizona. There's a woman there who is the key to you regaining your memories. And believe me when I tell you, she will find you, and she will give you the answers you've been looking for. Madame Vistois gets up from her seat and starts to walk off. When she is about 10 feet from me, she turns to face me one last time. Be careful, Lucian. The things that have been done to you were done for a reason. This quest of yours could cause you more damage than good. And with that, she spins on her heel and continues on her way. Resting my head in my hands, I let out a groan. Wonderful. More traveling. My funds are starting to get low, but I'm going to take this woman at her word and head to Arizona. However, flying is getting too damned expensive, so I decide to make my way back to the hotel and try to find a cheap used car. Well, Arizona, here I come, I guess.